Today, we're talking how to take better photos with your phone. The reason specifically I'm talking about how to do this with your phone is because I do not know who, but somebody somewhere decided for all phone companies that
we are going to turn off the rule of thirds grid.
It does not make any sense. Even painters use it, and they decided to turn it off. I don't know why. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that on real quick. You're gonna want to open the settings app on your phone, go to camera settings, that's what you're in. You're gonna turn on the grid. Now, odds are your phone came with this as the default off and it makes no sense, but once you have it on, you're gonna have 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. These lines will not appear in your photos or your videos, but they're so important. I'm gonna show you how exactly to use it, compose your photos, because at the end of the day, you can take the best photo possible with the best camera, the highest quality image, and if you don't know how to compose it and frame it up right, it's not gonna look good. Starting off with what I think is the most important thing about the rule of thirds, which is positioning. Composition is all about positioning. The most important whose line is it anyways? The lines that I use the most are the vertical lines, and you'll use them the most too, most likely, because they apply mostly to people and objects, which is most of probably what you'll be taking pictures of. Now, the best way to use these vertical lines is to place your subject on either vertical line, and if you have a really nice background, you'll be able to see it. You'll have a more dynamic shot. You'll have them in focus, and then the background will be a bit blurred out because I'm assuming they're going to be a lot closer to the camera than whatever's in the background. And so you have this really dynamic image that you're going to get. Now, you'll also get some bonus points if you can line up whatever's in the background with the opposite line. But there is something important to know. When you're taking a photo of a person, you want to make sure that they're looking in the direction in which the camera has more space on. So for instance, you don't want them looking off screen. You want them looking towards whatever screen real estate there is. This is important because it's gonna make them more involved in the shot. If you have them looking off screen, then it's going to feel like there's a disconnect between what's going on in the photo and what they're doing. Like, they'll look so out of place in the photo when they are the subject. The horizontal lines, those are a bit harder to use because unless you're taking photos of landscapes, they're not really going to come into play much. And usually when I take pictures of landscapes, I just line up whatever I need dead center in the frame. You can also, if you have a really long road or something, you can take the bottom most horizontal line.
Vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal.
You can take the horizontal bottommost line and line it up with the horizon line so you get a full shot of whatever's in front of you, and the street is still kind of in it, but it's not the main subject at that point. Alternatively, you can take the uppermost horizontal line and line that up with the horizon line instead, and you're gonna get a shot of whatever's lower to the ground. Once you got it all down though, you can use these lines as pivot points. So you have your subject on a line. Now you want to get a even more dynamic shot because lining it up
flat can be a bit boring sometimes.
So then you can play with angle, looking up, looking down, and there's actually something very important about looking up and looking down. So when you're looking up at a subject, it's going to give them power and make them look real big and tough.
I lift things up and I put them down.
And that's what looking up at a subject does. Effectively, it gives something power. Now, when you're looking down on a subject, it's gonna make it look small and weak. So you don't really want to use that too much when you're taking pictures of people. And if you're taking a picture of your friend and they want to look good, yeah, you want a small tilt downwards. It's gonna hide
the chin fat and
make them look a little more slim. But you don't want to be looking too down, because then they're gonna look small and not as cute as maybe you might think they look, or they think they look. So if you're trying to make an impactful photo and you want to give somebody presence, look up. If you are trying to take a photo and have something look smaller, you want to take it looking down. And you can play with this, especially once you have down the lines, mostly the vertical lines. I favor the vertical lines. I'm a vertical line guy till I die.
So to recap,
So we're going to use our rule of thirds grid, frame up our shot, and we're going to use that as our pivot point to get a more dynamic angle. And once you get this tool down, once you start doing this, then you can start worrying about color grading. Yeah, that's all that's left is to color grade. But yeah, that about wraps it up. This is how to use the rule of thirds grid. It is an incredibly powerful tool, and once you get down the composition, everything else will be cake. That about wraps it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button and come back for more content because it's gonna be way go.